Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final SEC East recap before we start the SEC West. We have the two-time reigning national champion, Georgia Bulldogs, who are ranked number one for the third straight year. Coming into the third year, they're ranked number one. I think deservedly so. I would say they definitely are the best team going into this season. They are going to be making a quarterback change, getting rid of notable non-SEC graduate and 10-year senior, Stetson Bennett. And their starter this year will be Carson Beck, who is a junior from Jacksonville, Florida. This is a guy that I feel like is just going to pick up right where Stetson Bennett left off. I don't think it's going to be a real big drop-off. I think you may maybe a little experience question mark because he hasn't played. He's played a little bit in some, but I mean, he's never really been like a true starter, so maybe that's a question mark for Georgia. But other than that, their defense is still loaded. They still have a ton of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. And here's the thing. Last year, between the two national championship teams Georgia had, their offense was a hell of a lot better last year than it was the year before. And they should still be good this year. They have a ton of running backs. They have the best tight end in college football in Brock Bowers. He's basically a receiver. He's so fast, he can do everything. And you know the defense is always going to be the cream of the crop when it comes to a Kirby Smart defense. But let's look at the schedule. Will they lose a game? I don't know. Let's see. UT Martin, should be a win. Ball State. Now, I have a ton of friends that go to Ball State, right? They're talking about how if Ball State beats Georgia, the city of Muncie will burn down. There will be light poles being torn down. It would be the largest upset in the history of college football, point-wise. It would be against a number one ranked team, and Ball State's going to be at least like 40-point dogs. At minimum 40-point dogs. They're not winning. They're just not, but if this happens, I'm immediately driving 2 hours up to Muncie to celebrate with my friends. But yeah, it's not going to happen. South Carolina at home might be a tough game, but should be a win. UAB, that's easy. Auburn at Auburn maybe gives them an issue, but I think that's still a win. Kentucky at home, that's easy. Vandy at home, that's easy. Florida and Jacksonville, I think that's easy too. Missouri at home, easy. Ole Miss, I think, will be a really good team, but they get them at home. Easy for Georgia. Here is where all the chips come to the center of the table at Tennessee. Now, I think that Tennessee has a more than great chance to win this game. Because here's the thing. When you play really good teams throughout the start and middle of the year, it prepares you a lot better for meaningful games through the end of the season. They don't have any ranked team. They got Ole Miss. So they got one ranked team on here. Tennessee will have already played Bama and a bunch of other really good teams. Tennessee gets it at home, which is a massive advantage getting this game at home. Words don't describe how big. Tennessee fans said last year they would have beat Georgia if the game was in Neyland Stadium. Maybe. I'm not going to say that they would. They maybe could have. I think Tennessee's going to be waiting for this game all year. All year they're going to be waiting for this game. This is probably going to be a matchup of like number 1 versus number 5 or something like that. And I think Tennessee wins it at home. I think Tennessee wins this battle for the East. I think they're going to get their revenge from last year in the biggest game. That's the biggest game of the year in college football. Easily the biggest game of the year. At least, two teams could. That game in Ohio State, Michigan, easily two biggest games of the year, at least looking at the preseason. But ultimately, I think Tennessee gets the win here. And at Georgia, they'll beat Georgia Tech. In fact, they'll probably be mostly Georgia fans at that game, even though it's at Georgia Tech. Okay. Georgia this is a pretty easy, other than Tennessee, this is a really easy schedule. I'm a Tennessee fan, but I'm a big believer in the Vols. I think they get it done and stop Georgia's pursuit of a back-to-back undefeated season. This would probably, I think this would probably get Georgia in the playoff if they went 12-1 with their only loss being to Tennessee. Like, they'll probably beat every other team by at least multiple scores every game. I think this would get Georgia in the playoff. Just like Tennessee would have made the playoff if Georgia was their only loss, but they went out and lost to South Carolina. But, yeah, I mean, easily they could go 13-0. If you want to change this game, I'm not going to argue. I mean, if you think Georgia's going to win this game, that's totally reasonable. I'm not going to fight with you on that. But this is what I think. I think Georgia's still going to be really good, man. They are the new top tier of college football. It's no more we want Bama, it's we want Georgia, because they have pretty much established themselves as the top dogs, no pun intended. But, yeah, this is what I think they will have in their third year.